Hey, True Believers, Chris Mack coming at you with Edge of Spider-Verse issue 2. And this is the first appearance of Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen or Spider-Woman or Spider-Shadow or Shadow Spider, whatever they're going to name her. But we knew the book when after this issue came out and her first solo series came out, that was Spider-Gwen. Now, before we get into the book, this is one of those ones where I got to flip it to the back. I hate this so much. But they decided to put all the stuff here on the back, so if you kind of want to read up on what the Spider-Verse is about, you can pause that, look at it at your discretion, I guess. At your leisure, there's the word I'm looking for. This is Jason Latour writing, Robbi Rodriguez artist, Rico Renzi color artist, VC's Clayton Cowles letter and production, and then here's everyone else working on the book. And now what's funny about this is the fact that around this time period, other than Marvel being variant cover crazy, they did a whole series of Gwen variants. They like Wolverine, Venom, blah, 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 blah. But it seems like the only two that really kind of took off, and I can't remember if Spider-Gwen made a variant cover or not, but her and Gwenpool were the only two that kind of took off, and that's why they have their own series now. I don't know why. It's just interesting, especially Gwen Stacy. And I think a lot of us just have an affinity for her because Marvel kind of killed her off and never really brought her back per se that I know of. Now, if you guys have a first printing of this book, I give you props because that first appearance or that first printing, forget about it. I was lucky and got my hands on a second printing. This is a facsimile edition. So if you guys can't get your hands on a 1 through 3rd printing, this is recently just came out at local comic shops, and it's only $4, so why not? Now, with that said, you can tell this is a very much younger generation because this band's called the Mary Janes, and they do punk, and you can see how Mary Jane is the front and center. Of course, her life always revolves around the entertainment industry. Excuse me. So you say, face a tiger, this is your shot, blah, 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 blah. But what happens is she goes, the music just doesn't seem right. And then Stacy, she's just kind of in her own little world. And I like how the writer segues because Mary Jane's like, all right, I got it. I freaking got it. Pick it up. Pick it up where we dropped it. And then we jump into Gwen's backstory. But before we do that, they do kind of go into what Mary Jane tells Peter in the main 616 universe. Vegas City Tiger, you hit the jackpot. Kind of showing how she's working her lyrics out in her head. But here, quick backstory. It shows how Gwen was bit. How she stuck up for Peter because he was her best friend. And he didn't like that he was powerless and Gwen had this power. And so, spoiler alert if you've never read this, so pause it, go get a copy of this, and then come back. In this universe, Peter turns himself into the lizard, which essentially kills him. And he's just like, I just wanted to be special. Like you. Which in this universe, again, makes things interesting because J. Jonah Jameson goes after Gwen. Such blatant disregard for human life cannot be tolerated. Peter Parker must not have died in vain. Thinking, wow, really, Jonah? Interesting stuff there. He goes, Spider-Woman and those like her must learn that with great power come great responsibility. So that's where we kind of get that. And you realize that why Gwen is drumming, all this is echoing and drumming in her head, which makes her kind of go off beat and just not really seem like she's part of the band. So it kind of causes a schism here. Right there. Boom, 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 boom. Great information. The artwork's a little, it's not bad. It's serviceable, but it just feels a little too. Well, let me show, for example, you've seen other artists, old school artists that have drawn Lizard, Todd McFarlane being one of the examples, big and brooding and dark. And here, this is like the Wiggles or, the Dollar Tree version of the Lizard. So that's what I mean. Is we've seen characters that are just drawn. You're used to people like what's his name? Matt Bagley. You're used to Todd McFarlane, etc., so forth. And then you kind of see this more modern take where everything has this very thin look, and it's just kind of, I kind of feel like they could have done better, but that's just my personal opinion. That aside, the story overall is great. I love how she's sitting here, stop the Spider-Woman, and she's thinking all these secrets, all these things I can't say, I'll never be able to say. He'll never know. I'm sorry, Peter. So you see the weight of the world, just like Peter Parker has in his universe. And yet she still wants to do the right thing. And of course, Gwen Stacy is the police chief, so in this universe he didn't die, and neither obviously did Gwen. And all the police are trying to take her out because they think that she killed Peter Parker. And some of the dialogue I have to excuse because I'm older. So she kind of uses more of that kind of, lack for a better word, millennial style talk. I'm just kind of like, but then I got to remember that this is a newer book. She's supposed to be younger, so it works for what it is. But I like how Gwen, being the daughter of the police chief, is able to, she knows a lot of the lingo. So she actually, is telling the cop how, you think I'm dangerous. You're the one that fired in the middle of a public place trying to get to me. And then she's able to, while he's webbed up, call in the police code. And he's like, kill you? You're ridiculous. You're the one who's going to kill someone, you jerk. And she's saying, like, what did make me laugh is she's saying the way that you're strung up here and the way you were shaking like a leaf. Someone recorded that and you're going to live on the internet forever. So that was kind of an interesting take there. And then I think my favorite take of this book is here. We see Alexei, who of course we know is the Rhino, and Matt Murdock talking, and you're thinking, what? So yeah, in this universe, let me let Mr. Murdock say it. Alexei's asking why the Kingpin wants him to take out the big chief. And Matt says, simple, Alexei. It's two birds with one stone. One, it takes the pain in the butt George Stacy off the street. And two, well, Spider-Woman looks like the child that could use a few friends, don't you think? So Matt is a mob lawyer in this universe. Not exactly my favorite, which kind of chaps my butt, but still, it's different. There's times where they'll make an alternate universe and things are a little too much of the same. At least here, you're thinking, Matt's a mob boss lawyer? What the hell is going on? And with that said, you kind of get the weight of Gwen's weight of her, of the world on her shoulders. You get the plot. And then we just get into some badass action of her beating the crap out of Alexei and talking crap with her, with him. Verp. And then everything kind of boils down to a confrontation between father and daughter. And with that said, I'm not going to give any more of this book away. I know at this point, this book's a little dated, not dated, but, it's been around for a while. But still, there's a lot of people that have not read this, so I don't want to spoil it that way. I want you guys to at least, if you can find a decently priced copy of one of the printings or get this facsimile edition, I want you to read it and enjoy it. Because if you've only seen Gwen from Into the Spider-Verse, which was an excellent movie, you only got pieces of this book. She was a drummer in a band, and, she lost Peter Parker, but they didn't go deeper. And if you guys want more reading, after this, I believe it was the Volume 3 of Amazing Spider-Man, issue 9, I think, that she comes into the play in the Spider-Verse universe. And then after that, she had her own solo series, which wasn't too bad. But then they rebooted it again, and the artwork just got worse, and so did the dialogue, and I noped out after that. But anyway, if you guys have enjoyed what you've seen, please, first and foremost, support your local comic shop. And if you've enjoyed this review, please, we'd appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you can know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little spider bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.